watching episode 1 of my deep dives, and I realized I just passed back and forth my drink and never actually drank out of it. We're drinking some Jack Daniels and ginger ale. Is that a mule? Like a whiskey mule, a Jack mule? I'm not really sure. Missing the line for sure, but to make up for last video, gotta do a couple drinks. Anyways, episode dos. I didn't take Spanish. I took French. Couldn't roll my R's. So I regret that a little bit. Anyways, we are here to talk about the next band, the next artist, the next music stop in my journey to who I am today, and that band is none other than Nirvana. Looking at it now, it's like, wow, look at this guy, what a tool. Like, everybody loves Nirvana. Yeah, Nirvana's great, you know? I still kind of get mad when people say Alice in Chains is better than Nirvana. I'm like, no, they're not. Lane Staley, yeah, I love him. He's got a great voice. They have some rock and riffs, but Nirvana's way fucking better, okay? I'm sorry. I said it, and that is a hill that I'm gonna die on, okay? Anyways, Nirvana. How did I first hear them? Funny reason, I think. It wasn't through someone saying, hey man, listen to this. It wasn't through a radio. Like I said in my last video, I was listening to burned CDs my dad made. And I don't think my dad in the 90s was an angry, angsty young adult in med school. No, he was like in med school. He didn't have time to be angry. And so my first introduction to them was 8th grade in middle school. As a end of the year party, our band teacher, Mr. Frazier, I wish I want to apologize to you on camera, because not that I did anything, but man, they were some kids in that class, they peed in your sink, okay? I'm sorry, I'm not gonna name names, but someone did. Someone put a hole in the wall, I think like 2, someone broke a doorknob. I'm sorry, you know, I tried to be an okay student. I didn't do any of that, I promise. End of the year party though, he brings in Guitar Hero, and that was my first introduction to Nirvana. It had a heart-shaped box on there. And so of course, I think it was the next year for my birthday, I needed a PlayStation 2 so I could play Guitar Hero. And sure enough, my parents got me that, and the first all-nighter I've ever pulled in my entire life was with my dad. We beat Guitar Hero 1 and 2 on medium. I know, professionals, I know. And that was, like I said, my introduction to Nirvana was through Heart-Shaped Box. And from there, you know, it's now 9th grade, I'm in high school, and for some reason, being an angsty, angry, pseudo-depressed teenager is the cool thing to do. I'm not really sure why, and for some reason it has been for the last decade and a half, I feel like. But anyways, I fell head over heels in love with Nirvana. I loved Kurt Cobain. I was like 14 years old and I was like, when I turn 27, I'm gonna kill myself and join the 27 Club with Jimi Hendrix and Kurt Cobain because I'm that cool, and who could forget Amy Winehouse? And I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm 27 right now, just turned 27. Don't worry, that's not gonna happen. If I die right now, it's probably because my fiance killed me. I'm just kidding, no, she didn't. Anyways, so yeah, for whatever reason, I decided I was an angry, angsty, sad teenager, and I got super into Nirvana. And they were the reason I started playing guitar. I wanted to play guitar so I could play along to Nirvana songs. I wanted to write songs like Nirvana. I really did. I 100% did. I learned a power chord, and right then and there you can basically kind of play like almost any Nirvana song. And you know, I started playing guitar, like I said, and started going and hanging out with buddies who also played music. And we could sit there and jam, and we could sit there and play Nirvana songs. And Spencer and I, we started playing together, I think our junior or senior year of high school. And you know, we both had this love for playing Nirvana. To this day, I remember we're getting ready for a battle of bands, and we have a singer named CJ, and for fun, this isn't a part of our set list that we're practicing, for fun, we decided to do Smells Like Teen Spirit. It was the first time we've ever played it with a singer, first time we played it all the way through without just kind of making it a jam. And Spencer gets off his drum kit. He grabs some shitty guitar that he had won in a contest, I believe. He can comment and say if I was wrong or not. And he gets up, walks into the middle of his driveway, lifts this little piece of shit acoustic guitar over his head and is about to smash it on, and he goes, no, I shouldn't do that. I had never been more amped up in my entire life. It was great. It was so much fun. And Nirvana is just such an awesome, just music to play along to. The last group of people that I played with, we had a singer, and her name was Naka. I'd like to give her a shout out. She was fantastic. She kicked ass. What a fucking rock star. And we do a cover of Come As You Are. And she took this song to a whole other level. I mean, she is just fucking going for it. And I remember looking at the guys in the band with me like, oh my God, she's killing it. And it was just so much fun. It was my introduction to playing guitar. It was my, an introduction to playing music with bands and having just such a good time in making music. I remember Spence and I would play Setless Apprentice because it was something that I could turn up to 11 and he could smack his drum kits as hard as he wanted to, and it would just probably piss off neighbors. I remember our bassist just sitting there like shaking his head just like, oh my God, not again. So much fun. I can't get over Nirvana and how much of an influence they've had on my playing, which is funny because now I am in a completely different genre of what I like to play along to, but Nirvana always holds a little special place in my heart. I still play their songs. I love them. Now to kind of talk a little bit more personal, that was kind of musical about how I got here. There I am though, 14 years old. I'm listening to Nirvana. I went to, I think it was Spencer's at South Hill Mall, and I bought a poster of Kurt Cobain, and it was the one, he's kind of leaning over his guitar, he's sitting down and he's smoking a cigarette. Hung it up in my room, and my mom was pissed. She thought it was so trashy that I have a poster in my room of someone smoking. I mean, she did not like it one bit, but she let me keep it. I started reading every book, every Rolling Stones magazine under the sun that had to do with Kurt Cobain. I think I've read about 3 biographies about him. I've read Dave Grohl's biography, autobiography. I have read the Rolling Stones editions of them. I just dove so much into them. I started, reading their lyrics. I am so sad that I never actually got to go to Aberdeen and visit. When I lived in Washington, that's kind of an unfortunate thing that I wish I would have done for sure. Oddly, of all the graves that I could visit in Washington, the one that I visited is Bruce Lee. But, I mean, he's a badass. So, but yeah, Nirvana was just huge for who I was. And I just remember listening to them on an iPod Nano, on the bus, just full blast, just loving it. I felt like the lyrics spoke to me. I don't know why. I think, it's just that self-identity you get into as a teenager, as a young teenager. You're getting into high school, you're growing up, you have more responsibilities. The future of life is now looking at you. People are saying, oh, now it starts to matter about college. What do you want to do in your life? You need to start thinking about who you are. Not to mention, you're going through puberty. You have hair in places you didn't even know that you could have hair. Your voice is cracking and you're just like, I don't know what's going on. I don't like this. I just want to play Legos and eat ice cream. And I'm like 27, like, dude, I feel you. I still just want to do that. And pause, because you know what, I've taken one drink this whole time, and you're gonna be like, wow, he just passed around a beer this time. Or not beer, sorry, my Jack Daniel's Mule. Refreshing. Anyways, and so yeah, you're just changing so much, and it just is it puts a smile on my face. I love Nirvana, and it was just like someone, and maybe it's, the 90s generation, it's just, there's someone out there who's making music for the way that you're feeling, the way that you are kind of angry. For 14 years, you've been a kid. I, just rode my bike over to my buddy's house. We'd stay out until 2 a.m. and come home. And now it's like, you gotta start preparing for the next big portion of your life. Do you want to go to college? If you do, these have to be good grades. And what do you want to do in college? Because you don't just, float around, which admittedly I totally did. But yeah, I love Nirvana. Like I said, it's I don't listen to them as much as I probably should nowadays, because I still love them. I still know the words to them. They still get me so amped up. And like I said, the last band I was in, we still played their songs. I love them. Who doesn't? I was looking in my closet to try and wear a Nirvana shirt, because I used to have like 4, and I don't. Like, weirdly, my fiance has way more Nirvana shirts than I do, and she is head over heels in love with John Mayer and Justin Timberlake. And she wears it for me. I know, she's pretty awesome. I will have her on a couple shows pretty soon. Yeah, I love Nirvana. And there's a reason why they are still around today. They encapsulated what people feel and put it into a song. And I know this is really weird. Last episode I said, the great thing about those songs I listened to when I was younger is they didn't have to have a reason to listen to them. You didn't have to have an emotional connection to feel the songs. And here I am saying, I'm head over heels in love with Nirvana because they're singing and to my heartstrings. Like I said, that's the journey through music. As Dave Grohl says, one of my favorite quotes, he can go and play a song for 85,000 fans, and they're gonna sing it back to him for 85,000 different reasons. And I mean, that's Nirvana. I'm like, wow, that was like a Buddhist saying in itself. That's some weird stuff. But yeah, anyways, do you like Nirvana? Let me know. Did you feel that connection with them that I did, that encapsulated that time period in my life? Who is important to you? I didn't ask this in the last episode, but I want to know, do you guys have any burned CDs? Because I had a burned Nirvana CD that I jammed to and probably wore out and had to make another one. So yeah, let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are on 90s grunge. Were you a Pearl Jam? Were you a Soundgarden? Were you Alice in Chains? Were you Nirvana? Were you Sonic Youth? I mean, Mudhoney? There's so many great ones. Even your preference between they have like 4 albums that came out in their short career as Nirvana. What's your favorite? Everybody absolutely adores their unplugged set list, and how can you not? So yeah, let me know what your favorite is. Let me know your thoughts on Nirvana. Yeah, we'll stop there. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good Mayo Day, and hope to see you next week. I'm that cool, and who can forget Spencer?